Once upon a time, in a land full of rolling green hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. She had golden hair, eyes like the sky, and a smile that could warm any heart. But poor Cinderella was often sad because she lived with her mean stepmother and two stepsisters, Drizella and Anastasia. They made her do all the chores. From sunrise to sunset, she scrubbed floors, washed dishes, and swept the dusty halls of their grand house. One day, a special invitation arrived at their home. The prince was hosting a royal ball at the palace, and everyone in the kingdom was invited. The stepmother and stepsisters were thrilled. "We must find the perfect dresses," Drizella squealed. "Maybe the prince will fall in love with one of us," Anastasia dreamed aloud. Poor Cinderella. She too wanted to go to the ball, but her stepmother sneered. "You? In rags? You're staying home to clean, Cinderella." As the stepmother and stepsisters left for the ball in their fancy gowns, Cinderella sat by the fireplace, her heart heavy with sadness. Suddenly there was a soft sparkle in the air, and in front of her appeared a lovely fairy godmother. "Why are you crying, my dear?" asked the fairy godmother. "I want to go to the ball, but I have nothing to wear and no way to get there," Cinderella whispered. "Don't worry, child. I will help you." The fairy godmother waved her magic wand with a twinkle in her eye, and poof! Cinderella's tattered dress transformed into a gown made of the softest silk and sparkling like stars. On her feet appeared delicate glass slippers that shimmered with every step, but that wasn't all. The fairy godmother turned a pumpkin from the garden into a golden carriage and 4 little mice into strong white horses. "Now, off you go to the ball, my dear," said the fairy godmother. "But remember, the magic will wear off at midnight, so be sure to return before the clock strikes 12. Cinderella thanked her fairy godmother and set off for the palace, her heart fluttering with excitement. When she arrived at the ball, everyone turned to stare at her in awe. The prince, tall and handsome, was especially captivated. He immediately asked her to dance, and Cinderella floated across the ballroom like a dream. They twirled and laughed, and Cinderella felt as if she were in a beautiful fairy tale. But then, dong dong, the clock began to strike midnight. Cinderella gasped. She had to leave before the magic faded. Without a word, she dashed out of the ballroom, her slippers sparkling as she ran. Down the palace steps she fled, but in her hurry, one of her glass slippers slipped off her foot and clinked onto the stairs. She didn't stop to pick it up. There was no time. The prince found the slipper and vowed to find the mysterious girl who had stolen his heart. He searched the entire kingdom, trying the slipper on every girl's foot. But no one's foot fit the delicate glass shoe, until he arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried the slipper, but it was too small for them. Then the prince asked Cinderella to try it on. The stepmother laughed, but to everyone's surprise, the slipper fit perfectly. "She's the one!" the prince cried, his eyes shining with joy. He swept Cinderella off her feet, and soon they were married in a grand celebration at the palace. From that day on, Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after, and the kingdom remembered her as the girl with the kindest heart and the most magical shoes. And every now and then, if you look very closely at the stars on a clear night, you just might see them twinkle, like Cinderella's sparkling slippers.